Okay, so we again still we are talking on Bodhisattva Way of Life, Chapter 4, which is the subject matter is heedfulness. Um, and then the below the parts are talking about we should abandon or eliminate the mental afflictions. So before we start the sansas, uh, just talk about what the mental, what is mental afflictions and how many there's, right? And then regarding six root mental afflictions that we finish, and then 20 secondary mental afflictions. I share you the text. We not read and give the whole details definition, but there's some important parts that I shared, and also wants to share one more important parts that help you to before manifest it or before it arises that you can stop it. So which cause the possible to manifest as that those the 20 secondary mental affliction. Um, the first two, rage and resentment, the most of the time it's arising from close to associating with others. When you are not with other, and then because yeah, you will not have some anger at the moment. So the anger and rage is different here. The anger, whether that cause or condition it's in front of you or not, you still, whenever you remember it, immediately you get the anger. That's it is. And then rage is when person or whoever cause you have anger. It's when you see it, it's when it's in front of you, then your anger getting more stronger. So, and when you do not see them or not, you do not see them in front of you, then you are that which your anger is not stronger. So therefore, it's depend on to meeting the person or not, right? So therefore, it might be cause you to have manifest both rage and resentment when you associate with others. So therefore, these two are arising from close to associate with others. And then the spite, the number three, spite, and what call concealment, right? The concealment and the spite are arising from the habitual or excessive conversations. Again, the spite is part of the what call part of the anger, right? It's rooted by anger, and then concealment is rooted by either attachment or ignorance. So these two are most of the time arises from excessive conversation with other. So therefore, the less like less conversation will be better for save the not manifest the spite and concealment. The concealment is not just saying that you are the hide your own fault. So that's the different mental aberrations. The concealment is if someone, yeah, here as definition says, the mental factor associated with delusions that wants to hide one's misdeed or keep them secret, while other mention them out of the wise wish to help. So when someone to help you, and then you are asking that, it's same as like when you go to doctor, if you not share all this like your problem, then doctor cannot give you the exactly the medicine or treatment. So therefore, your illness will be remaining continuously, right? Similarly, when someone help you um, to overcome by this the problem, and then but still you are hiding all your the fault and problem, then that thought is that which is the thought at the moment wants to hide or your own fault. So it is called concealment. Look at the its affections, or what called um, the functioning. Look at last. Its functioning is as a basis for regret and rich state, right? So it brings you more regret in the future. This is the what happening if you have these mental afflictions. And then next here, jealousy and the stinginess is more arising from is arising from attachment to gain and honor. So whenever you have strong desire to gain honor, gain an honor, so like you are desire to have wants to something or so whatever, right? So attached to the gain and honor, so that possibility at the moment, you might have a jealousy or stinginess, or stinginess and jealousy both are arises from attachment to gain and honor. So if you want to stop to have these two mental afflictions, the jealousy and the stinginess, then you should not have, you try not have attached to gain and honor. So it will help us to stop or not manifest it. So that therefore I'm just trying to the cause or condition how it arises or possibilities arises. And then the arrogance arises from uh, lack of respect or unwilling to bow to others. And then violence arises from impatience. You know, so that the violence again is not just saying that general violence. The violence specifically here associated with the secondary mental afflictions. Chumba, can you show the full violence definition? And here, the violence associated with anger, yeah, it and it's rooted by anger, and then this is a mental factor that it says opposition to loving kindness and so on, wants to inflict injury or others, the companion, okay, whatever. So it is that you wants to harm to them, or you asking someone to harms to other, or when you see someone fighting or harming each other, you are just be happy or rejoicing it. All these thoughts are it's a part of the violence here. And then the violence is not talking again. The secondary mental affliction is not really talking about the action, the physical action, right? It's more thought or more mental state. So therefore, here violence, the mental state is which you want to what call um, which you want to harms to others. That thoughts at the moment, the thought which is wanting to harms other, it is a part of the secondary mental afflictions. And then after that, once you have a thought, then you will react it, right? So the reaction is not the part of the mental afflictions. All the mental afflictions here, mental state. Again, yeah, okay. And then it's arise from impatience. When you have more impatience, then so very much possible to having those kind of mental afflictions. Once you have that thoughts, then your actions goes more negative, right? This is the violence means. And then the next, shamelessness and non-embarrassment, right? Shamelessness and non-embarrassment, these two secondary mental afflictions arising from decline in moral discipline, right? Once you are like if you are having less moral discipline, or you are not really careful to moral discipline, then it's very much possible to have manifested the shamelessness and non-embarrassment. So these two mental afflictions, secondary mental afflictions, are completely non-virtuous. It's totally non-virtuous. It's never ever associated with the virtues or neutral. It's 100% non-virtuous. And then this is, yeah, when, most of the time when we have a lack of moral ethics, or we are not never considered about the moral ethics, and then that's whenever the two mental afflictions, shamelessness and non-embarrassment arises, then what called it will brings out a lot of what called negative negative actions. Yeah, let's say that negative actions. And again, look at the functioning of the both shamelessness and non-embarrassment. Okay, and then dullness is arise from decline in tranquility or concentrations, right? That's This is also one of the secondary mental afflictions. And excitations. The excitations, it's not just general excitations, and distraction a little bit different. So excitation must be distracted by desire or attachment. Um, that we call excitations. It's arising from what called once you have a less the focus, or um, yeah, or like yeah, less focus or less concentrations, then it's very much possible to have that the excitations. It is part of the secondary mental afflictions. And then why it's mental afflictions, and look at the functioning, how it's affected us. That will you understand. So okay, and then next, faithlessness and laziness. These two mental afflictions arising from decline in faith. The faithlessness is arising from decline in the faith, and then laziness is arise from decline in diligence, or like a joyful effort, right? So once you have a joyful effort, then there's no way to having laziness. Once you have strong faith, there's no space to have faithlessness. So the faith, again, why it counted in mental affective negative emotion, because it's functioning again. It's part of the ignorance, and laziness is part of the attachment, desire. And then faithlessness is part of the ignorance, is rooted by ignorance. And then some faithlessness that if you do not know, that the classification of faithlessness, sometime maybe you're not clear or not, it may, or maybe confuse you too. So please let me know if there anything, if you read it. So, and then the heedlessness, which is the subject matter of this chapter 4, it's arise from discord among the five faculties. The five faculties not talking about our eye consciousness and ear consciousness and so on and so on. What called the five faculties we call the faith or joyful effort, concentration, and wisdom, uh, or recollections. These five are the call is the five faculties, and what is the discord of the five faculty is the faithlessness, laziness, and forgetfulness, and then the lack of the meta awareness and distractions. Those are the discord of the what called the five faculties. So, and then heedfulness. Once you having the discord among the five faculties, and then the heedfulness. The heedfulness is careless for anything, right? So you are not careful to engage the virtuous actions, or you are not being conscientiousness to abandoning the non-virtuous actions, or you are not be heedfulness to abandoning the mental afflictions. So all this, the lack of like a heedlessness or having lack of heedfulness. So then what called the affective. It will arise as mental affliction as well, brings you a lot of suffering, and then keep creating negative action, which is cause of suffering, and so on and so on, right? So, and the heedfulness fall like an affective lot in our daily life. Therefore, heedfulness is very, heedlessness affective lot. So therefore, having heedfulness is very important. And the forgetfulness is arising from like either having weak recollections or decline in mindfulness. And lack of meta awareness is arising from decline in wisdom. Not knowing it is part of the ignorance. And the 20th secondary mental affliction is the distractions. So distractions arise from lack of decline in concentrations or equanimity. Okay, so if you know how it arises those secondary mental afflictions, and then it will help us to stop to arises that through by the controlling the cause and condition. Okay, that's one thing I like to share. And now we're going back to the Shantideva text. Okay, so from here, it talks about the careful to abandon the mental afflictions. Means like we have to always watch our mind. This is the heedfulness meaning, right? Or conscientiousness. Always be careful. So the careful means now keep watching your mind, and it's close to having anger, then you try to stop it. And it's close to having some kind of suffering, then you try to stop it. Or anything that manifesting or having cause or condition of suffering or mental afflictions. So that it must be stripped it, or must be abandoned it, or must be reduce it. Otherwise, what happening next, right? If you're not careful to reduce those, or if you're not careful to watch mind, and before those comes to us, if we not stopped it, then will be manifested the the one of mental afflictions, and then all the effective which we mention in definitions will happening, and then the bottom line is all brings suffering, right? So therefore, from here it talks about we should very careful to abandon metabolism. Very careful abandonment again. So means like the always watch your mind. Be careful to take care of your mind. Be careful to take care of your action in daily life before it causes us to have suffering and arises mental afflictions. That's the careful means here. It's part of kind of like saying always should have a consciousness or heedfulness before it stop or reducing mental afflictions. Yeah. So now here it has a three parts to it's the careful abandoning mental afflictions, reflecting. There are three parts. The first part is you are reflecting on fault of mental afflictions, right? And try not manifest it any kind of manifestation, either the root, sixth root, or 22nd tree, so far which we know. Not let it manifest it. So through by reflecting to thinking of the fault of mental afflictions. But it is really depend on your daily thinking. It's not that once the wait until mental afflictions, right? The heedfulness, we need it every moment. What do we call 24/7 days, right? So every moment we needed the heedfulness. Therefore, once we have the strong heedfulness, then our life will be more the calm and peaceful, because we try to stop the cause of suffering, both mental affliction and our daily actions, the physical actions, right? So now here again, we try to stop the mental afflictions through by reflecting the fault of afflictions. The first fault here is the fault has three parts. The first fault is like we losing our own self-control or losing independence. That's the one fault. And second fault is it brings us a lot of suffering. And then the third fault is that suffering harms us endlessly. So, and this all having through by the mental afflictions. So therefore, we must strip the mental afflictions by reflecting its fault. Okay, so now let's talk the first fault. He's saying lose the self-controls, right? Reflecting on how it's enslaved the mind, thinking that, reflecting on it, and then helping us to abandon mental affliction. Or other ways say, we must strive to abandon the afflictions, mental afflictions, by reflecting on how it enslaves the mind. Okay. The 28th. Although enemies such as hatred and craving have neither any arms nor legs, and are neither courageous nor wise, how have I been used like a slave by them? So it's mentioned here hatred and craving. This is just example. Actually, we must think all the mental affliction, negative emotion, both root, sixth root, and 22nd tree. Every single mental afflictions always harms to us. Um, right? We are being slave to, uh, as being slave. It's a being used like a slave by them. Because look at the example again here. Give her hatred and craving. So once most of our daily action or thoughts actually dominated by mental afflictions. Even our intention and motivations, most of the time in our daily life, actually dominated by mental afflictions. Uh, Once you're happy, maybe it's dominated by desire or some other mental ignorance, right? Um, the craving or ignorance. Once you are unhappy, um, that at the moment our motivation or our thoughts are associating or dominated by hatred or jealousy or so on, so on. So that's not how once we have the hatred and craving or jealousy and stinginess and so on. Once we have those, we keep following um, uh, or another way, so we lose our control actually, right? So when we have anger, so once anger dominates us, then um, we lose our analytical mind, which can think careful. We cannot think in the moment right now because the anger is overcome by it, and then and then even like a spite, resentment, all this we don't want it or we don't wish to have it, but still it's in control. It's not it's out of control. So and then say we all our like verbal actions and physical actions um, will take a lot of negative actions once the anger overcome by us, when anger is controlling us. And then at the moment we are slave of anger because we are listening whatever anger talks to us. So that's the way we use a lot of harsh word. We do many violence and fight, or we will never have like a empathy, compassion to other, having lack of compassion to other. All this at the moment, once your anger overcome, all this happening at because the clearly see they really makes us slave or takes control by anger. We don't have our own control. We lose our own independence at the moment when where anger arises. Same way when craving or desire manifested, again we lose our own independence and own controls. There are no self-control at the moment when mental afflictions arises. And so I think this is good enough example to telling you how we being slave of mental afflictions. And I think it's uh, we are listening right now, we are studying right now, and then after that in our daily life, actually, I think we must examining with the heedfulness. We must just check our mind is associating with the mental affliction, and once associating with the mental afflictions, and we are losing our own control or not, right? We are losing our own independence or not. It's affected to us or not. All this. Look at the definition. Therefore, it's very important to know each mental afflictions. Therefore, I requesting you to read again the definition and then the functioning and and then after that, do you examining in your daily life? It's exactly happening or not how it's stated, and then. And here is special saying that after that, how we are becoming slave of anger, how we are becoming slave of desire, how we are becoming slave of ignorance, so on, so on, right? So the slave means you know that you are losing our own control. We will act not normally. That's the clear shows us the slave, right? So once you are not really your thoughts are not really associating with the mental afflictions, and then that's that at moments we are the normal person. We will act exactly how should act it. We are concerning other, or we thinking our own self. Um, we might have shamelessness at the moment. Sorry, we might have a shameful at the moment. We might more concerning to others. We might rejoicing to others instead of having jealousy and lack of shameful or shamelessness. So, and then once mental afflictions overcome by us, any of the mental afflictions overcome by us, because each mental afflictions like drives us different actions, different motivated, different thoughts, right? That's different thought and different actions. Then that's the way we are losing our own control. Uh, therefore, that line is very strong. The who is really control us in general. If we know that the person who has a violent, who has like a weapon and strong, powerful, they control us, right? But the mental affliction do not have anything of this. No arm, no legs, no weapon, no encouragement, even no wise. But still strongly control us. Our mental affliction is controlling us more than which we think powerful people controlling us. Right? So so far we think the many people, the powerful people are controlling us. Then when we think that uh, a lot of the inconvenient and suffering or unhappy, all those are arises. Actual, it's the part of the mental affliction controlling at the moment, not the powerful persons. So the powerful persons could be the condition to have you have anger or jealousy, or powerful persons maybe be a condition to have you have ignorance. And whenever you have those, that controls our actions, all the actions of the mental, physical, body, speech, mind, right? All the action of body, speech, mind will control it by the own mental actions. When it is controlled, then actually we have the unhappy and suffering because of control by our own mental afflictions, not the others powerful people, powerful persons, right? Again, the powerful person can be the just condition, not the main cause. As well as you don't have an anger, they're not really controlling you, right? As well as you do not have jealousy or you will not have any kind of like a mental affliction, spite, resignment, or concealment. Then you still calm and peaceful, right? Everything's there which you want to uh, establish or accomplishment, right? Every opportunity is there. But once you our mind and our body verbals actions are controlled by mental afflictions, then we lose all the independence. Okay, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on it? Any thoughts on it? It said it's controlling our like daily actions are controlled by mental afflictions, not the external weather and persons. What do you have thought on it?
Oh, it's kind of ironic. I just had this conversation with my husband this morning about the powerful people
Oh, I see.
before I came here, and here you are talking about it.
Yeah, but we can investigate or examining, right? The power people, what we think is still there, but we just try to control our own mental afflictions. Like if anger is coming, arising or manifesting, just try to control them, the anger, and let's see so how much you're losing or how much you're gaining, right? So once you control your anger, you might gain the peace and calm. But once you manifest anger, you might lose your own control. Um, that's exactly as it's always. And regarding the Buddhists, very much strong belief that every single suffering and unhappy in our daily life, all those arises from one of the mental reflections, not that any external person or weather or place.
You can go ahead.
Oh,
The mic's open.
is it a common challenge for people to find that getting over some mental afflictions results in other mental afflictions rising up and becoming a greater challenge because you have tamped down some of the mental afflictions? For instance, focusing on not allowing anger to come up. I know this is complex, but can result in resentment because that anger has not been expressed, and then one needs to deal with the resentment.
Yes, if I understand your like what you mentioned, yes, it is the as we talk about the root mental afflictions and secondary mental afflictions, and then each are uh, like connected each other, each are supporting each other. The 100% sure that all the secondary meta-afflictions are arises from those root meta-afflictions. And then even the root meta-afflictions are supporting each other. So, and the very fundamental meta-afflictions, all those root and secondary are actually arises from ignorance. So this is how we described. Is this?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, it is actually it's difficult to accept it or difficult to believe that every problem in within my life is within my my own thoughts, not other. So again, as I try to mention here, it's very difficult to accept it. But if you more analyze it in your daily life, examine it, it will be more clear to you. Once it's more clear, then it makes you easy to accept it. Once you accept it, then you will exactly know what you have to do it in order to having peaceful and calm mind, right? So otherwise we just listening it, but not really strong belief. And then as we don't believe, just ignore it. Then it might be you might lose so many beautiful things. The possible, very much possible that you might lose very like a what call the great solutions. Gets great. You might lose the many great solutions and remedy. So therefore, it's very important to accept it by analyze it, examining it after you hear it. So there's a lot of health. Okay. So again, the point saying all the happiness in our daily life, all the suffering of all the unhappy, sorry, all the unhappy in our daily life, all the suffering of our daily life is caused by ourselves, not other. Okay. That's keep in your mind and then check it. Okay. So once you know that, and we will not blame to other, and you will know exactly what you have to control in order to having the peaceful, right? So then it is happening. Like outside, the life is like involved. It's complicated, or a lot of the violence there, a lot of complicated. But within even like a lot of chaos happening in the world, but you can still remaining as a peaceful. It's really you can still remaining in a peaceful. So then, as we can do that, then why we not try it? And then, so the doing that is to knowing exactly the cause of unhappy and suffering, right? So, okay. Any open discussion? We really like to discuss on it because we are not forcing you. It is the best, right? So far it's just sharing you what talks about the cause of suffering and cause of happiness, and then is there any thoughts or any disagreement? Very welcome to say that, or I'm here happily to discussion on it.
So, if this is a way to peace, why does our mind go, or why do we react in a way that isn't good for us? Like, why is that our default? Shouldn't it be the other way around? I mean, clearly I can see I can see all of this in myself and how it causes me harm, but why should it be that our human nature is to do the opposite of that? To stay in ignorance and stay in these mental afflictions?
Yeah, this is like a really the difficult questions. So, but instead of looking the main source, yeah, I don't know what the main source we can found it, but we can look at from the afterbirth from mother wombs, what we have at the moment. Innately, anger is there, all the craving and so on, all everything's there. But also, same time, we do have a lot of good qualities there. A lot of potential or abilities are there. Then once we grow up, it's kind of like we seeing or influencing by the community and other like the school and any like from others, whatever we uh, influenced by other. Most of the time, it's kind of like supporting to arises mental affliction instead of supporting to arises loving kindness because of environment and world like this. Like I said, when we talk about the children's, it has everything, good quality, bad quality, everything's there. So, but it's innocence. It's kind of like a white pepper. We can turn it into any color, right? But when they grow up and they're within their family and out of the family, like a school or like the community, so where they act, where their conversations, where their like egos or what they're wanting, everything's is associating by mental afflictions, and this is how it influences to that white pepper more turning to the dark pepper, right? It's good, more dark now because of influence by other. But once they're young, it's very possible if we put the more good imprints or influence the good, then their good quality will be more arises and manifested. So the condition of external outside is most the conditions always let us the arises or manifested the negative. And then we are ready to have both the good and bad. And then it's depend on like the growing seed is depend on the water and some other condition. And some other condition waters are most are our actions associating with mental afflictions. That's we sees. That's how children sees, and then it's influenced them, and then the mental afflictions are now manifested, and after the mental afflictions are manifested, then all the negative thoughts comes because the thoughts are associating with the mental afflictions. Then violence comes, and it's influence to the next children. It's influence to the next children. This is how worlds come now. This I thought it.
Is this where karma kind of comes in? Like we're kind of saddled with the ease of going towards mental afflictions because of karma?
I can say karma, but the karma we don't have to go very far. Karma as like our action, the influence to how influence to the children, and when we are children young, it's influenced by other. That's the karma action influence to us, and then all the how supporting us to manifest it, all the mental afflictions, and then how we grow up, and then how much we grow up, that much our feelings are getting more stronger, either the happy or suffering, or then based on that, and then we are wanting to have happiness, and by ignorance, we do so many wrong things. This both like innately all the seed you have it, and then the condition, the water is pouring by the community and the other people. That's how we grow up. Then we react exactly same. For we are now influenced to the newcomer children, right? So let's say if you have children in your family, definitely we shows anger. Definitely we bring them more pride, to way to talk, way to encouragement, and we are keep pouring water them to have a stronger desire to give them, whatever they like it, and so on, so on. But look at our daily life, from beginning from parents, almost we are not encouraged them have a loving kindness and then compassion. We are not encouraged them to have a patience. Almost not doing develop the good qualities.
Right.
Most of the time we are trying to let them develop the bad qualities. And that's how we raise up the children. And that also influences to the next, and next is how world become a chaos. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, still we do have control. Even you cannot control the world, you can control yourself 100% sure. And it's possible that you can control your close one. So therefore, now as we see is ignorantly, we are influencing so many bad things to others in the world, and even myself, a lot of the unhappy and sufferings comes actually like I myself being caused to having those suffering. So then once we know that, then let's say try to change it, not change the other, change ourselves. That's how we need to go, right? Yeah, these lines are very strong. Say no arm, no legs, no eyes, no encouragement, or no brave, but still control us. Even no wise. The anger is not wise, right? Desire is not wise. Anger, if anger is wise, then wise brings us regret after that. If anger is wise, then why let us fight to others? So many things which we don't like to do it, we don't want to do it, but when anger is manifested, we are doing so many things which we don't like and don't do. Therefore, anger is not wise, right? So, and as well as anger is not brave either. So, and then don't have a a weapon, do not have any weapons, but they are controlling us more than who does have arms and legs, wise, courage, weapon, power, everything. They cannot make us 100% slave. They cannot control us 100%. But the mental afflictions can control us 100%. But the reason here why they cannot control us the 100%, because even they do have everything, the weapon and power, everything, but still I can find happiness within myself. But once mental afflictions overcome by our thoughts and it's controlling us, we have become a slave of mental afflictions. There are no way to find peace within self. But still a way to have found peace when controlled by others, right? So this is how it is said. And then um, the next is saying it's not only taking your control or making yourself slave. Also, those mental afflictions are bringing us a lot of the suffering, and how we'll talk, right? So first, let me read the line. The 29. For a while they would dwell within my mind, at their pleasure they cause me harm, yet I patiently endure them without any anger. But this is an inappropriate and shameful time for patience. It's wrong. We are having wrong patience, right? Uh, like it might be help you to, but I will read another two more different translation of this line. Um, it says, as long as they dwell in my mind, they will cause me harm at their own pleasure, at their own pleasure. It's wrong to sorry, B-E-A-R, my pronunciation is wrong.
Yeah.
So it is wrong to bear that without anger. Being patient would be the blameworthy. So this is another translation. Anyhow, okay. Um, mm, Okay, this line actually uh, as the above the previous line saying it's controlling us, make us slave, and it's taking all our peace and continues bringing us suffering. By still why we being patient to have anger or have desire, right? So, and then how we know we are having patience on desire and anger and so on and so on. One thing's last time we mentioned it. So we keep saying I'm right to have anger, therefore I'm going to have anger. So you are being patient with having anger. So and then part of the desire and attachment, someone say, oh, shouldn't have a desire and attachment on something, let's say your lover, then say, why not? It's my right to have attachment. It brings to me more peace and happy in my life. So therefore, I really like to have attached to my family, my brother, my sibling, or like my partner, right? That I like to have attachment means you are being patient with having attached. Similarly, even you don't, literally, you are not saying that I like to have jealousy, but you are willing to have jealousy and you are continuous keeping jealousy as well. So the keeping and then to allow to have jealousy is same that you are being patient with having jealousy. So those are the example, and now we are having patience with every single metablactions because there are many reasons. One reason we think it's nature, we cannot do anything. Another reasons it's necessary that we think it's necessary to have in our daily life all those mental afflictions such as anger and attachment and jealousy and so on, right? We think it's necessary to have in our daily life, and also we think without mental afflictions we becoming senseless. So we should more act as senseful, therefore we must have those mental afflictions. Every describement and thoughts are that we are allowed to have every single mental afflictions because it's necessary. That's the way how we be patient with the mental afflictions. And then resolve to being patient with having anger, only yourself experiencing unhappy, none others people, no one else. No one else. Only the person who have anger at the moment, only that person's experiencing the unhappy, none other people. So, and that's by still thinking, having to being patient to have those anger and apply more reason to increase those anger. So this is the line saying you are having wrong patience. We shouldn't have any patience to have on any kind of mental afflictions. Is this clear? Okay. So therefore, we must abandon mental afflictions by reflecting how it's lead us immeasurable suffering, right? So then look at the next line, how it's bringing immeasurable suffering. Yeah, 30, right? Should even all the gods and anti-gods raise up against me as my enemies, they could not lead nor please. They could not lead nor place me in their roaring fires in deepest hell. So the another translation is, if all the gods and demigods arose against me as my foes, they could not take or force me to the fires of the increasing hell. So in another way, think all the people turning into my enemy, right? Every single person's like your neighbors, community, every single person's turning into your enemies, right? But they could not bring you strong suffering that much, which we create to within mental afflictions, right? So it's complicated to talk about the hell. It's all question for us, but the suffering is not question. Strong suffering is not question because we're experiencing it. So take this as an example. Strongest suffering, which in our life comes from where? The external or internal? That's how we need to analyze part of here. And it's saying everyone's turning into everyone's turns to enemies, right? Everyone's against to me, but still I can be found my peace and calm. Then why should worry about that, right? So, but when mental afflictions control us or against us, mental afflictions becoming the force, then there are no way impossible to found our own peace. Okay, this is two simple reason that you can think, right? So it's impossible to have peace with our own mental afflictions. But they're 100% possible to have peace even all people are against you. Okay, so
Possible.
that's how we need to think.
Incredibly difficult.
Sorry?
I said it's maybe possible, but it's incredibly difficult.
I understand. It is. So we should starting from possible to see it and then going more close and close. Then this is how we found the peace, right? The possible is a good way to start it. The seeing possible is wonderful. Therefore, let's say sometime, the even not against by everyone's, like one or two people, your friends, like say if you have a 10 friends, example, that there are 5 people against to you and then look it down to you or like harms to you, then we feel everyone against to me, everyone like harming me. But you not counted other 5 friends are not harming you. But we feel it, everyone harming me. It's not real, right? Actually, the harms by 5 friends, not the other 5. So, but once mental afflictions, ignorance overcome by our mind, then we will not see that the other 5 people are still remaining as a friend. We will not see that everyone is not against me. Only 5 people is against me. But once mental afflictions control you, then you see everyone against you. It's not real. It's makes you blind to see not everyone's against you. This negative emotion, how it's functioning, right? So you can take as this kind of thing, the reason it's kind of once mental affliction overcome, and it's making me like a dulls or dullness. It's making me more the what call the foolish, or it's not allow me to see reality, and it not allows me to see my own future. It not allows me to see all this my potential, and another cause and condition that I can found the peace, even the five people against me, right? We will not see this. It's blocking us to see all the reality. And instead of, not only that, the mental illusion is not blocking us to see all the reality. Also, mental illusions let us feel like out of reality. As to give you example, five people, five friends, right? The five friends against that you feel everyone's against. Sometimes even one people against, you think, you might say, okay, many people. You might say that many people against to me, many people saying this and that. But when reality is just one person saying it, not everyone's. Because of our mental visions, dominate our mind and our thoughts. That's how we feel it. And exactly that how we feel experience suffering. So there were big difference. So the 100 enemies and one mental afflictions, compare the one mental afflictions more harms you than 100 enemies. Okay, so think more, and then as we see the possibility, that encourage us to continue to think and follow it. So that statement is very strong, right? So all the people are turned to your enemies, but they are not brings you that much heavy suffering as your own mental afflictions create you have suffering, right? So therefore mental afflictions, giving example, one mental afflictions, maybe we can say 1,000 enemies equal than 1,000 enemies. So the 1,000 enemies still there, but as we can found peace and calm within our mind, then that 1,000 enemy is not that much powerful. But one mental affliction can ruin everything, and it would not really not allow us to have peace. Never ever. Impossible to have peace. Anger, such as anger, right? So it's impossible to have peace. The one mental afflictions ruining our whole life or ruining the day, but the 1,000 enemies cannot do that much. What anger does for us. So compare it, and then see, find it out what the really cause and condition, and then based on that, what I have to dealing with in our daily life in order to having peaceful and calm. Okay. And then final okay, one more line here. These, okay, where is it? 31st, right? Yeah. But the mighty void, those disturbing conceptions in a moment can cause me, what call? Amidst, which when meet will cause not even the ashes of the king of mountain to remain. But even not clear those things, if you not understand, that's fine. But the bottom line is saying the one mental afflictions that brings you that much suffering, which you are which 1,000 enemy cannot bring you. This is the point of the 29, 30, and 30 verse stanzas. And then, okay. Yeah. So, and then 32, 32nd, it's kind of saying, yes, of course, your own mental afflictions brings you immense suffering. The immense suffering, it's like a stronger things, right? Immense suffering. Not only that, also it's that immense sufferings brings you brings like a endless, right? It harms us the endless time. So the line here saying, all other enemies are inconceivable, right?
Incapable.
Oh, incapable, sorry. All other enemies are incapable of remaining for such a length of time, as can my disturbing conceptions, the long time enemy with neither beginning nor end. So the another translation here is the adversaries, my afflictions, last long without beginning or end. No other enemy is able to endure so long as time as them. Okay, so your own mental afflictions, like say, there's I think very easy to find example in our daily life how our own mental afflictions brings like endless suffering. Let's say what we call what's that? PST or PTS?
PTSD.
PTSD.
PTSD, yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
So PTSD is actually your memory causing you all this unhappy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the actual whatever happened is gone even long time. Like say someone in a 50-year 50-year-old now, and then they have problem with them when they are like 3 or 4, 5 years. So see now 40 years, 45 years is gone, but still cause you suffering. That's all that you cannot change what they done. Even the person who caused you harms might be past, no more exists. But your suffering is still remaining there. Well, why we still pointing that person who is passed away to say that person is the cause to having me suffering? Because now no more that persons cannot do anything because no exists here. The person is not exists, it's passed away. Right? But our memory, our recollections, our thoughts, which is associating with the ignorance, which is associating with the anger, is the main cause to continuous experience suffering. Therefore, we have to take medicine for that. Right? Even you want to take revenge, you cannot take revenge because no more exit. That person is no more exit. How you can take revenge then? Right?
I have a comment regarding that. Because PTSD is actually often caused by suppressing the emotional experience at the time of an event of wrongdoing, of not experiencing anger, not experiencing sadness, and pushing away those emotional qualities is actually what causes the long-term damage of having not emotionally processed an event And it's that dismissal of those emotions that actually causes the long-term physiological effects of PTSD. So is there a healthy way to engage with a harmful event where one is not engaging with the negative qualities that we've been talking about, and also healthfully process an actual harmful event? You know.
In other words, what to do about PTSD?
Without
Sure.
PTSD?
What to do about it?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for more clarification. I do not know that much. What I hear from others, that's why I share it. But still, I see even like a long damage that you explained it. The long damage actually isn't that within your mind, right? So let's say when you were young, it's someone abused like 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 time abuse. That not, I don't think it's long damage, but it could be having long damage, but 2 or 3 is not the main cause to having long damage. It's your shock, right? You're shocking, and again, I will add it the ignorance again, and some other make it so big, right? So, for example, we can give you here. So the same abuse, the abuse by who you really love, or abuse by the stranger one, or abuse by enemy, it makes us a big difference. Same abuse. Abuse by enemy, that will be more damage, and abuse by stranger, it could be the same the way that the damage in our mind. But abuse by very close one, as we can give the forgive easily, or we can protect to them, it could be to not that strong damage as abuse by enemy.
Stronger.
Much stronger damage is
Abuse.
caused by
Right.
abuse by one that someone loves.
The PTSD.
Is going to
Yeah.
cause a lot more damage to someone.
Oh, okay. So then let's say I can take example similar one. We don't have to go with the PTSD, but still I'm thinking when how much I know the knowledge about the PTSD, actual whether we call it damage or not, it's more doable. You can change your mind to stop PTSD instead of taking Medicares. Um, so that's I would strong believe on it. But just leave it aside. Now here, say who is really brings you the main points here is who brings you longest suffering. The external one or your mental affliction. That's what we have to analyze at the moment, right? So again, let's say someone use harsh word when you go outside, and then that you hear the harsh word from other, just one harsh word, right? So saying you are stupid, and then you hear that immediately, we get anger instead of thinking, am I really stupid or not? This is how our daily life, that much we increases anger, even small reason, it's manifested. it's blocking us to analyze to any situations and circumstances.
Can I,
Right?
can I, oh,
Oh yeah, I will come to you. And
all right.
then, yeah. So it's like you hear the saying, stupid, you are stupid. Then, of course, you will have anger at the moment. Then when you go back to home, whole days, 24 hours, until you get to the sleep, it's keep disturbing your mind, that word. And how much is disturbing your mind, that much you are unhappy. But sometimes it causes us to problem to sleep as well. We couldn't sleep because it keep disturbing me. The one word saying stupid to hold 12 hours or 24 hours to bring us unhappy. But actual is not the one word stupid. Stupid. Actual cause you have 24 hours suffering or unhappy because of anger. That's another simple example. So anger brings you longest suffering than one word, right? At the moment when you say stupid, if you say, oh yes, okay. Others, for example, again, people who drunk, when they say stupid, or like a mental illness person, when they say stupid, you will not hold it. You will not have, it's very much possible to not have anger at the moment because we're thinking this is the mental illness. But same word, stupid, it's depending on who said that. Mental illness people said it. You will not have anger, but it's not ruin your other next times, right? But who else? Someone said it that was stupid. You will have anger, then it's all ruin your day. So it's not. It's depend. It's not. It's clearly see that it's not the word of stupid. It's your anger. If it's word of the stupid, then we must have a same unhappy when mental illness person said that. But this is not the cause to have unhappy. The cause to have unhappy is anger, right? It is really simple and clear example. Okay, sorry, I disturbed you. So what do you want to share?
I wanted to share that, working on Tuesday night with the Lamrin,
Uh-huh.
I had a big awareness about the cause and effect.
Oh, I
And
see.
yeah, and the cause of so much anger is, fear, or in my case, I get very defensive. But I've also learned that finally, that the effect, that my ability to have an impact on the effect is what allows it to de-escalate
Uh-huh.
and to not perpetuate. So the meditation on cause and effect, I can understand what's causing it, whether it's abuse when I was 5 or whether it's somebody saying something to me, and then my reaction of being defensive, that's what I have effect, or what I have control over, is my ability to not let that grow inside me, so that I can let it go.
That's great. Wonderful.
Finally,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, that's therefore we don't believe miracle because of everything's depend on cause and condition. There are no magic and miracle. Anyhow, so so far just few things, few line. What the summarying is we have to the step abandonment reflections, thinking how it's enslaved the mind. And then we try or strive to abandon or reduce, better say, reduce mental afflictions by thinking how it leads immeasurable suffering. And then also, so we try to reduce mental affliction as much as we can in our daily life by reflecting on or thinking on how it's being harms over endless time, none others. And then compare one mental afflictions and other 1,000 enemies. So mental affliction is more worse than other 1,000 enemy because it brings us heavy suffering and endless suffering. That which the 1,000 enemy cannot do that. Even 1,000 enemies they presently exist there, but still we can find peaceful within our life. But when or dominated by mental afflictions, there are no way to finding peaceful. Therefore, the mental afflictions must be reduced as much as we can. But this is not simple way talking where we were talking here. It's not that easy and simple reducing it. But if you begin to think about the fault of mental afflictions, it will be reduced its own way, even we not do harsh or like hard work to reduce it. Even we not do like a strong or like a meditations, but just keep thinking the fault of mental afflictions, which described here. Just recollecting and repeatedly thinking it within your heart, then it's automatically reduce it. But not just 1 day or 2 days, repeatedly, many days, think those, the reason which described here, and then definitely it's help us to change. Okay, so then we'll be continuous on the next stanza. Any other question? So the question not necessarily refers to today's subject. You can bring the question which is the having some kind of struggle in daily life, or your friends might have some struggle in daily life. If I know some solution or some like a remedy, I can share. Okay, that's wonderful. No problem at all. Oh yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe.
Yeah.
This series of lectures, I've come to a few of them, and it's titled Inner Peace for Everyday Challenges. And I think we've covered very well the everyday challenges. I think we need something for not everyday challenges, for something more difficult to face than the everyday challenges. And I'm not sure where to take it from there.
Oh, I see. I think overcome by any difficulty is depend on everyday challenge actually, because again we can look at back what the source of difficulty, and so far we described here the source of difficulty, source of suffering is our own mental affliction, is the main and substantial cause, none others. So then all the reason we talked today with these few stanzas, to think again and think again, So in order to overcome by our own difficulties. So everyday challenge is not that we are not finding house, not finding food, or like we are not meeting with the people who really like to meet you. Or this is not necessary. So how we build it, our suffering, same way we have to reduce the suffering. We build it our own suffering by many days to thinking problem or having anger, ignorance, and so on, so on. Then if you want to reduce or overcome by that difficulty, then we have to do some practice every day. I mean, everyday challenge means we might have a different perspective of everyday challenge. I thought everyday challenge here means like we have to practice every day. We have to think or reflection on every day, all this reason what we're talking today, that will help us to overcome by our own problem or difficulty which we had. Okay. Yeah, always I'm sharing like this. If like when we do practice, it also find it out that your best time with the happy mood. This is the exactly time that we have to think and reflecting or practice. So otherwise, if you are heavily, if you overcome by suffering, or if you overcome by mental affliction, anger, if you overcome by desire, this is not the good time to practice. This is not the good time to think or reflecting, because it's not allow us to think, because overcome by something else. But only that when you are happy, that's we call leisure time, right? The leisure time is when you are happy, all the other conditions there, you do have a time. And then instead of just thinking in our normal life, going outside, why not a little bit change that my opportunity time, I will do practice, reflecting on those reasons. I will research on this reason. I will examining on those reasons, is right or wrong. So that's how we need to change a little bit, living our day time. And then it's, again, it's same as like any study, study language. Study language, the first day you learn 2 vocabularies, second day you will learn 3 vocabularies, but still we don't feel that I can speak English or I know English. But after years, after 2 years, all this collected, then you feel, oh, now I can talk. So you never realize that at the first day or second day, even 6 months, you not realize that you are able to talk. But after a long time, you collecting vocabulary and making sentence and talking and conversation, all this, after 2 years, automatically you can talk something. Might be makes you surprised, but it's not really surprised. We studied long time. So same way, practice every day will brings you surprise in the future. Okay, thank you so much. Then have a wonderful time and day. So we'll next few Sunday classes also going do by online. And then please, if you like, please welcome to DNKL as we see here. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Okay. Yeah.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Thank you.